All right, this week it's called Exercising Faith. Who's exercising in the picture? Can you see who's exercising?
Somebody running.
Somebody's running.
Who's doing that?
Somebody, we don't know. We're having a little bit of a break from Samuel, Saul, and Jonathan. We're going to come back to them soon and find out what happened. But I wonder how long it's going to take you to figure out who our story is about this week. And don't look at I have a spelling mistake there. My fingers jumped ahead. I got an I between my two L's. Anyway, our story starts on a lake. Can you see our pretty lake? It usually is a bit like this. It looked a bit like this. But at the time of our story, it was a stormy night. Can you see the stormy night in the waves?
I remember.
You might guess. Let's see. What are we going to do? Somebody yelled. They were stuck on a ship. Here's our little ship. They were stuck on a ship in the middle of the lake. Yes. And the storm had blown in at sunset. It was getting close to sunrise now. Can you imagine being in a storm all night long as the hours crept by in terror? You were rowing and rowing for about 5 or 6 kilometers. That's 3-ish miles for our Americans. And you got nowhere. That's a long time to row and not get anywhere. Crash, roared the lightning overhead. Can you see the lightning? Can you see the lightning?
Yeah.
Where's the lightning? I know, but they can't see the boat. There's the boat. Crash, roared the lightning overhead, and splash, slammed the waves against the boat. Their poor boat. You're going to do it? Well, then you got to come sit over here so people can see the boat. The poor boat was about to be torn apart. Thump drove the wind from every which way. Exactly. Lots of crashing. When they tried to row north, the wind would blow them south. When they tried to row east, the wind would blow them west. I can just hear them arguing. We're being blown off course. We were supposed to be going to Bethsaida. No, his cousin argued. It was Capernaum. The former tax collector said, I thought he said the other side of the lake. Someone else probably screamed, does it even matter where we land? I'll happily go back to the desert just so long as we get to land. Do you know yet who was in the boat?
Jesus.
No, actually, it wasn't Jesus.
What?
Jesus was not on the boat this time. There were normally 13 of them, but one of them had gone up onto the mountain to pray. Jesus was the one that went up on the mountain to pray. Look, can you see? Where's Jesus? There he's up on the mountain praying. The others, you can tell him later, he forced all the others onto a ship. Where's our ship? He forced them all onto a ship and told them to cross to the other side, called the Sea of Galilee, now that you know what our story's about. Do you know what our story's about, James?
Yeah.
Jesus, that's right. It is about Jesus, but he's not on the boat yet. He's up on the mountain praying. We're going to sink, somebody probably yelled. Do something. We are doing something, the fishermen in the group could have yelled back. Do you know who the fishermen are? Not all of them were fishermen. Which ones were fishermen? Do you remember? No? That's all right. There was Peter,
I remember.
James, John, and Andrew were fishermen. They knew how to sail boats really well, and they were trying hard to keep their boat from sinking. Is their boat is sinking? No. Well, there's not a hole in the bottom of that boat. But the waves were crashing over them and trying to sink them. The storm was really bad, and the fishermen had been doing something all night long. Well, do it. No, not just yet. Well, do it better, Matthew might have shrieked. I can almost hear Peter snapping back. If you're such an expert, you get over here and do it yourself. When we're tired and angry and afraid, we often say things that are not nice. No, you'll tell Blakey after the story. That doesn't make it okay to say mean or nasty things. That means we need to remember to watch our words more carefully whenever we're feeling tired, angry, or scared. Now, we're going to have a little song. Are you ready to have your little puppet mouse?
Puppet mouse.
Puppet mouse.
Puppet mouse.
Oh, be careful, little mouse, what you say.
Ow.
Oh, be careful, little mouse, what you say. For your father up above is looking down on mouse. So be careful, little mouse, what you say.
I'm eating you.
You're eating my mouth. Well, that's not very nice. You're going to sing with me?
No, I'm eating your neck.
You're eating my neck. Okay, well, why don't your mouth start talking and stop eating? You're going to sing with me? Oh, be careful, little mouse, what you say. Oh, be careful, little mouse, what you say. For your father up above is looking down and loves. So be careful, little mouse, what you say. So there were the disciples on their sinking ship. Here's our sinking ship. When someone spots something on the water.
I'm eating your mouth.
Hang on, I know. No, we're not doing our mouths anymore. We've got, it's a spirit, they cried. That's like saying, it's a ghost. Where's our ghost? You going to be our ghost? Here's our ghost. Ooh. There was someone or something walking on the water. It looked like a man, but can people walk on water? Can you walk on water?
A little.
A little. Well, how can you walk on water?
You float.
You can float, yes, but that's not walking,
I
that's floating. Right.
I'm only one out of a million.
So there was a ghost. And the disciples started screaming in terror. I can't blame them for that. I think if I thought I saw a ghost, I'd scream too. Suddenly, that's right. Suddenly the ghost spoke. Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. It wasn't a ghost at all. It was Jesus. Peter wasn't convinced it was Jesus. So he set up a test. Lord, if it be thou, bid me come to thee on the water. Jesus said, come. And Peter got out of the boat. Is there a boat? Peter got out. He went, whoop. He got out of the boat.
What's going to happen, James?
I wonder if the water was soft and squishy like a sponge. Can you see our sponge? Where's our sponge?
Fun.
I wonder if the water was soft and squishy like a sponge. Maybe it was hard like a footpath. Can you see the footpath? Can you see the footpath? It was hard like a footpath. That's right. Or hard like our desk. I wonder if the waves tickled his toes. Maybe it splashed at his knees. I don't know. But Peter, Peter walked on the water, just like Jesus was. Peter walked on the water. And it was going really well until suddenly Peter wasn't walking on the water anymore. Maybe it was a blast of wind that hit Peter and he started looking at the wind and the waves. And Peter became afraid. He got scared. And when he got scared, Peter started to sink. Do you know what Peter did? He did. Do you think he started swimming? No, he didn't start swimming. You were right. What was your answer? He did. Peter cried, Lord, save me! Whenever we're in trouble, the first person we should go to for help is God. He's the only one that's all-powerful. He made the whole world. He can walk on water. Do you know he can even walk through walls? Yeah, he can walk through walls. He can create things just by speaking words. No one else can help us like God can, and we should always ask God for help. The Bible says that Jesus immediately reached out and grabbed Peter's hand, and he said, O thou of little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? In a way, Jesus was saying, why is your faith so small? Why are you so scared? I'm right here. God is always with us, always, and we can always ask him to help us. You see Peter there? Mm-hmm. Jesus grabbed him. Walking on water seems like a pretty cool thing to do. He's walking on the water. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Walking on water. When we see someone doing something really awesome and brave, we can think they must have a whole bunch of faith. Peter's walking on water to Jesus. Yeah, walking on water? That's a bit different, isn't it? Can we walk on water, James? No, we can't walk on water.
Like when that guy went on the pole between the Twin Towers, I think was that?
Yeah, that'd have been scary too. We can think they must have a whole bunch of faith to do pretty cool things. But do you remember how much faith Jesus said Peter had? How much faith did he say he had? Can you remember?
Small.
Small, that's right. Oh, thou of little faith is what Jesus said. Little faith.
Okay.
Peter only had a little faith, but he walked on water. Jesus said if we have faith the size of a mustard seed, we could move a whole mountain. Where's our mountain? Where's our mountain? Where's our mountain? There it is. How big are seeds? Little. That's right. Look at that little bitty seed. It's tiny, isn't it? They're very small. Seeds are very small. You don't need big faith to do big things. Even a little faith is enough. But I wonder what Peter could have done if he'd had big faith. I wonder what you could do with big faith. Do you know how to grow your faith? Well, we put seeds in the ground to grow them, don't we? But we can't put our faith in the ground, can we? Well, that doesn't work. Do you know how you get big muscles? How do you get big muscles? Do you sit on the couch and do nothing all day long?
Yes.
No, you don't. You lift weights. See the man? You lift weights and you do things with your muscles. You grow them by using them. You can grow your faith by using it. That's called exercising your faith. Exercise, exercise, exercise.
Ow.
Uh-huh.
That means you.
That's right. But we can all do it. We can all exercise our faith. We trust God to help us all day long, even with the little things. Like you thank him for your food. Do we thank God for our food? Or before we cut down the bushes that turned into trees in our backyard. Did you know that, James? I prayed before I cut down the trees because I was worried I might drop it on our house or on the fence or even my own head.
Well,
You can ask for help with your schoolwork. Who's doing school? Who's doing school?
Yeah.
That one.
I wish it was the same thing with muscles, so I can sit on the couch all day long, do nothing, and I can still learn things.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. You've got to use it. Now, who is it that hates to go to the toilet and everybody keeps saying he has to go? Yeah. Now, some people might think going to the toilet's only small, but Jamie's only 4, so going to the toilet's a big thing for you, isn't it? Yeah. You can pray to God about anything because even if other people don't think it's important, if it's important to you, God wants to know about it. So practice your faith. That's how ambulance drivers and doctors, can you see the doctors?
The doctor.
And the soldiers, where are the soldiers?
No, right there and there.
That's the hospital. That's the hospital. That's where the ambulance takes you. That's right. The drivers, doctors, and soldiers know what to do in emergency because they practice and practice and practice when nothing is wrong.
Like 5 years
Yeah. But when nothing's wrong, they practice when nothing is wrong until they know what to do when something does go wrong. We exercise your faith by practicing to trust God before things go wrong, like when I prayed before I cut down the tree, not after I cut down the tree, because afterwards a little bit late, isn't it? Yeah, by then I'd already bashed on top of my head. Yeah.
I exploded.
You pray before things go wrong, and you practice using your faith to trust God to help you before things go wrong, so that when things do go wrong, you already know who to ask for help. Now we're going to sing our new song. Remember our new song? We're going to exercise our muscles while we sing about exercising our faith. Do you remember this one, James? We stand up on the first letter of the word, and we sit down on the next one. Hang on, but we probably shouldn't eat while you're doing that. We don't want you to choke. You ready to sing our new song? You spell it O-B-E-D-I-E-N-T-E. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe. You spell it O-B-E-D-I-E-N-T-E. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe.
That really hits the butt.
Oh, well, okay.
What if you jump up
Okay.
and you just sit, walk down?
Now we've got to be quiet again. We used our muscles. Now we're going to be quiet again. I've got a story to tell you. I've got a story to tell you about a time that I exercised my faith. James, look at the windstorm. Can you see the windstorm?
No way.
Do you remember recently we had a windstorm and it was blowing the trees and some of the branches fell on the ground. I was out at the shops and I was a bit worried about driving home safely because there were already branches on the road.
This is what's blowing in pine.
Yeah, were you crying? Oh dear, I'm sorry. Now, I was out at the shops and I was a bit worried about getting home. But as I was walking back to the car, James, I was walking back to the car, there was a man came out of the shadows. Can you see the man?
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was and he was a bit scary. I got a knot of fear in my chest. What should I do? Should I stand around in the middle of the road? FYI, not usually a good idea to stand around in the middle of the road.
What does that mean?
For your information. Not a good idea to stand around in the middle of the road. But it's also not a good idea to walk near a man that you don't know that's scary. So what should I do?
Pray and then walk away.
Well, I couldn't walk away. I didn't have anywhere to go behind me. I prayed, and suddenly that knot in my chest went away. God gave me peace. God gave me peace. Look at me praying. You see my hands up there praying? God gave me peace, and I knew that it was okay to walk back to my car. Now, I didn't walk right next to the man. How did I walk around him, James? Can you see? I walked him way around the side of the man, but I knew it was okay to go back to the car, and I wasn't scared anymore. I'd practiced praying to God so that when something scary happened, I knew just who to ask for help. And that's how you grow your faith, when you keep using it. Now, in our story today, Peter only had a little faith, but he used his faith to walk on water. I wonder what you could do if you used your faith. Now, here's our Bible verse. And Jesus said unto them, if ye have a little bit of faith, as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. Matthew 17, verse 20. What was that about?
It means that it's
Teeniest bit of faith.
you can just pick up a mountain and throw it into space.
Well, it didn't say pick it up. It said you can tell the mountain to move, and the mountain will move. Now, shh, we're almost there. We're almost done. Now, do our Bible verse again. Jesus said unto them, if ye have a little faith, as the grain of a mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible to you. Matthew 17, verse 20. So what do we have to remember today? You have to remember to keep exercising your faith. Exercise your faith. Practice praying and trusting in God. Goodbye to next time.
Bye to next time.